If you want comfort, leave now. But if you want truth, the kind of truth women will never say out loud, then stay. Do you know why most relationships collapse before they even begin? It's not because of money, not because of looks, not because of sweet words whispered at the right time. The real reason is darker, more dangerous, and if you don't understand it now, you'll be forgotten by tomorrow. The dangerous truth women never tell is this: every moment with you is a silent test. Fail it, and she loses respect. Pass it, and her desire deepens beyond reason. Machiavelli warned, "He who cannot govern himself will never govern others." The Stoics taught that true power begins with self-mastery. I don't speak to entertain you. I speak to expose the law that has governed influence for thousands of years. A law most men will never master. They drown in comfort, in politeness, in begging for approval, while the few learn how to turn silence, distance, and control into gravity. This is not a trick. This is not seduction as you've been sold in movies or dating advice. This is strategy, the architecture of obsession. And when you see it clearly, you'll never look at women the same way again. Understand this: a woman does not measure you with words. She measures you with pressure. The way you react when she goes silent. The way you respond when she challenges you. The way you stand when the frame shifts against you. These are not coincidences. They are subconscious calibrations. Tests her nervous system runs automatically without her awareness. Most men fail. They fail because they think attraction is built on gifts, flattery, or perfect timing. But women are not moved by logic. They are moved by emotions: fear, hope, tension, hunger, curiosity. Machiavelli knew it centuries ago. People follow not because of reason, but because of the emotional forces that govern them. In this story, I will expose the 7 hidden tests women use. Not openly, not consciously. These tests are woven into conversation, into absence, into contradiction, into silence. Fail them and you collapse into predictability. Pass them and you become unforgettable. The man she cannot explain, yet cannot release. Each move I'll reveal is not theory. It is field-tested psychology, rooted in biology. Dopamine triggers, the Zeigarnik effect, scarcity bias, emotional anchoring. Every law is older than language, older than civilization itself. The instincts of attraction have not changed for thousands of years. Only the strategies have been forgotten. By the end of this, you will know how to turn those hidden tests into fuel. Not just for attraction, but for respect, the foundation without which no desire survives. Respect first, desire second. If she respects you, she will never stop chasing you. If she doesn't, no amount of gifts, smiles, or promises will save you. This is not about controlling her. It is about controlling yourself, because a man who cannot control his own silence, his own absence, his own no, will always end up controlled by her emotions. So listen carefully. What follows will cut against everything you've been told. It will not feel comfortable. But comfort has already failed you. What I'm offering is something else. The unspoken code women live by and the method to pass every one of their secret trials. Obsession begins here. From boyhood, men are told a lie. Be the perfect gentleman, and she will love you forever. Hold the door. Buy the flowers. Say yes to every request. Never raise your voice. Never create conflict. Always please. And so men grow into predictable performers. They smile too quickly. They compliment too often. They laugh at jokes that are not funny, agree with opinions they don't believe, and apologize for truths that should never be apologized for. They think loyalty means erasing their own edges, sanding themselves down until no sharpness remains. But what happens? She feels safe, yes, but not stirred. She feels comfort, but not gravity. And soon she feels nothing at all. Because attraction is not born in comfort. It is born in tension. The nervous system does not crave what it already understands. Craves disruption, uncertainty, challenge. Yet men, conditioned by weakness, offer her the opposite: predictability. Here is the brutal truth. The more you chase her approval, the less she values yours. The more you explain yourself, the less she listens. The more you give without edges, the less she feels. I have lived this mistake. I have bent myself into silence just to avoid conflict. I have over-explained, overcommit, over-invested, until I realized she was no longer with me. She was with a version of me I had killed, a mask crafted for her comfort. But masks don't seduce. Masks bore. When you live as a pleaser, she does not hate you. She forgets you. You become invisible, buried under the noise of men who all behave the same. She may keep you around for convenience, for security, for stability, but never for desire. And without desire, respect withers. And without respect, every relationship collapses. Machiavelli said it in different words. It is not enough to be loved. It is necessary to be feared. Not fear of violence, that is weakness masquerading as strength, but fear of loss, fear of disrespecting you and losing you, fear of realizing you are not a man who bends endlessly just to be kept. The majority of men cannot hold this line. They confuse love with approval. They confuse devotion with obedience. They believe that if they simply give more, she will stay. But what actually happens? She takes, she tests, she grows restless. And the more predictable he becomes, the more she hungers for something, someone, that reminds her she cannot control everything. Every woman craves the man who does not need her to complete him. Every woman desires the man who can walk away if his values are crossed. And yet, most men never dare to be that man. They cling, they beg, they explain, they collapse. That is the problem. Not lack of money, not lack of looks, not lack of charm. The fatal weakness of men today is that they confuse kindness with submission, and submission with love. And once she feels no resistance, no tension, no possibility of loss, she feels nothing at all. And so, most relationships die before they begin. Not because she was cruel, but because he was predictable. Most men fear saying no. They think agreement keeps her close. In reality, predictability kills attraction. A quiet refusal creates the tension she secretly craves. Not anger, not debate, just calm resistance. She invites you to skip the gym for coffee. You reply, "No, I already have plans." No excuses, no apology. Silence. Her mind jolts. Why didn't he fold? Why doesn't he chase? That small disruption separates you from every man desperate to please. In relationships, it's the same. She pushes for an event you don't care about. You say, "Not tonight. Go enjoy it." Firm, unshaken. She learns you are not clay to be molded. You are stone she must respect. Your move. Say one short no this week without softening it. Hold the silence. Watch her reaction. Respect grows not from pleasing, but from boundaries. Machiavelli's echo. The prince who yields to all demands loses his throne before battle. Women test without knowing it. A sudden silence. A sharp question. A shift in tone. A withdrawal of warmth. These are not accidents. They are subconscious strength checks, her nervous system measuring whether you remain grounded or collapse. Most men rush to fill the silence, to justify, to explain. They panic at her mood, desperate to prove they did nothing wrong. But every frantic word lowers their value. She doesn't need an answer. She needs to feel your composure. Imagine she suddenly goes quiet on a date. The weak man leans forward, asking, "Are you okay? Did I upset you?" You don't. You sip your drink, let the silence breathe, then continue at your own pace. In relationships, she throws a sharp question. Do you even care? Instead of defending, you hold eye contact, calm. If I didn't, I wouldn't be here. Then nothing more. Your move. Practice stillness when tested. Don't rush to fix. Keep rhythm. Machiavelli's law. Power is maintained by those who remain unshaken under pressure. Attention is abundance. Absence is scarcity. And scarcity creates value. When you step back, when you disappear without explanation, you awaken her deepest fear, that she no longer has you. Most men smother. They text constantly, update endlessly, broadcast every detail of their day. She feels secure, but not excited. Predictability kills hunger. Desire thrives in uncertainty. Imagine after an intense night, instead of stretching it until it dulls, you leave first. A short silence lingers. Her body replays the peak. Her mind asks, why did he stop? When will I see him again? That gap becomes gravity. In relationships, absence is even sharper. You don't argue, you don't lecture. You withdraw. Suddenly she feels the weight of what she risks losing. No drama. Just the quiet void only you can fill. Your move. Step back briefly at a high point. Let her imagination work. Machiavelli's principle. What is withheld commands more loyalty than what is freely given. She is the tide. You are the riverbank. If both of you become waves, chaos follows. If both of you become banks, passion dries. Polarity sustains desire, her storm meets your calm. Most men mirror emotion. She cries, they panic. She rages, they argue. They believe meeting her fire with fire proves care. Instead, it proves instability. Emotion against emotion burns out quickly. Picture this. She raises her voice, demanding answers. You breathe slow, lower your tone, and say, I hear you. Calm, measured. Suddenly her storm loses power against your steadiness. The frame shifts, you lead, she follows. In relationships, she arrives restless from the world outside. You don't absorb her chaos. You ground her with stillness. Over time, she comes to crave you not for excitement, but for balance. Your move. Train your presence to meet her heat with composure. Machiavelli's echo. He who controls himself commands others. Love her fully, but never let her become your identity. The man who builds his entire self on her approval will always be fragile, always afraid. True desire comes when she senses you are whole with or without her. Most men surrender their center. They abandon their purpose, neglect their friendships, and reshape their lives around one woman. First, she feels flattered. Soon, she feels trapped, because nothing is more suffocating than being someone's only oxygen. Imagine she cancels plans last minute. The weak man sulks or accuses. You pivot easily, gym, work, friends. She sees your life flows on without disruption. That calm detachment becomes irresistible. In relationships, she tests if you'll bend everything to her moods. You don't. You love her, but your world does not orbit her. That paradox, connection without dependence, is what keeps her chasing. Your move. Cultivate passions beyond her. Machiavelli's truth. The prince must never rest his power in one alliance alone. A man who says yes to everything cheapens his word. Approval without weight becomes noise. But when your agreement is rare, deliberate, and genuine, it becomes power. Most men fear disappointment. They fold instantly, granting every wish, thinking endless compliance earns love. Instead, it erodes respect. A woman values what is scarce, not what is automatic. Example. She suggests a plan that aligns with your vision. You pause, then answer simply, yes, I like that. The rarity makes the moment meaningful, because she knows it came from truth, not weakness. In relationships, your yes becomes sacred. You don't validate every outfit, every idea, every mood. But when you do, when you look her in the eye and say, yes, that's beautiful, it lands with force. She treasures it. Your move. Save yes for what matters to you. Machiavelli's law. Benefits must be given little by little to be valued greatly. Stop chasing her approval. When you do, she begins chasing yours. The man who positions himself as the prize rewrites the frame. She must rise to meet his standards, not the other way around. Most men flip this dynamic. They pedestalize her, shower her with validation, and then wonder why she grows cold. Desire dies when she feels she has already won you without effort. Imagine on a date she tests you with sarcasm. Instead of defending, you smile lightly and say, I don't give my time to just anyone. You'll have to earn it. A playful, calm reminder that your presence is not free. In relationships, this principle deepens. You set the standard for respect, intimacy, and effort. She knows that if she neglects those standards, she risks losing her place. That silent fear keeps desire alive. Your move, live as the prize. She must prove she deserves your attention. Machiavelli's truth. The valued throne is never offered. It is seized. Give less, receive more. Walk away and she follows. Refuse to compete and you win. These are not lines from poetry. They are the mechanics of desire. The paradox no woman will say aloud, but every woman feels. You've seen it already. The men who overgive, over-explain, overstay are always the ones discarded. The men who leave early, who keep silence, who refuse to bend are the ones she replays in her head years later. Why? Because certainty kills hunger. Absence feeds it. The nervous system is not addicted to abundance. It is addicted to scarcity. Casinos thrive on this. Intermittent reinforcement. A win here, a loss there. Never predictable, always uncertain. The same wiring governs attraction. A man who is always present fades into background noise. A man who retreats at the peak lingers like a shadow in her mind. Here is the paradox. The less you offer, the more she craves. The less you explain, the more she imagines. The less you demand, the more she invests. The man who can walk away without drama becomes the man she cannot release. In dating, this is simple. You give her a night of laughter, of spark, of chemistry. Most men would stretch it, overstay, dilute the magic. You don't. You rise at the peak, smile, and leave first. What happens? She goes home restless, her body buzzing, her mind replaying. She texts first. She wonders why the moment ended, why she wants more. She begins to chase not you, but the unfinished story. That is obsession. In relationships, the paradox grows sharper. After intimacy, instead of clinging, you withdraw into silence. Instead of endless explanations in conflict, you give her a short truth, then space. Instead of flooding her with constant yes, you give her rare approvals that cut deep. She begins to orbit you, not because you force her, but because your absence weighs more than another man's presence. Machiavelli warned, it is safer to be feared than loved. Not fear of harm, fear of loss, fear of being replaced, fear of realizing that respect comes before affection. And without that fear, love becomes lazy. The weak man thinks power comes from giving endlessly. The strong man understands power comes from restraint. He knows that his silence is louder than explanation. He knows that walking away without turning back is the sharpest weapon. He knows that love cannot exist without the constant shadow of loss. This is the dangerous truth women never tell. They will ask for more time, more attention, more security. And yet their bodies crave the opposite. Tension, scarcity, polarity. They desire the man who could leave at any moment but chooses to stay. The man who does not collapse into devotion, but stands firm in his own gravity. The paradox is simple. To keep her, you must be ready to lose her. To win, you must stop competing. To be desired, you must remain slightly out of reach. This is the law of obsession. Today you stop being predictable. Today you step out of the soft crowd. The men who beg, explain, and fold, and step into the minority that women never forget. Most men will never cross this line. They will keep pleasing, keep apologizing, keep giving everything and receiving nothing. But you are no longer one of them. You have seen what they cannot, the dangerous truth, that respect must come before love, that absence weighs more than words, that the man who can walk away is the man who stays. You are no longer the boy asking, "What does she want from me?" You are the man who decides, "This is what I offer, this is what I refuse, and she must rise to meet me." You do not seek approval. You become gravity. Machiavelli's warning is clear. He who cannot hold his own boundaries cannot protect what he loves. The same applies here. If you want her desire to burn, you must be the edge she cannot soften, the mystery she cannot solve, the presence she cannot replace. So act now. Comment, "I know my worth," to lock in this mindset. Subscribe if you are ready for the next steps. Move sharper, darker, stronger. Because this was only the foundation. The deeper laws are still ahead. Remember, you don't win by giving more. You win by mastering what you withhold.